You're listening to The Good Morning Show on WBOK 1230 AM.
Welcome back to The Good Morning Show. Out of O.T. Thomas, Chamel, gone the early bird in the entire WBOK family. Yes, Chamel, great discussion about, getting our power back, or who took it, how do we regain it, where is it? I guess it's the same discussion we need to have for those folk who won't take their country back.
Look, they're looking for something.
We're looking for something. They're looking for something.
They're looking for something they already have. We're looking for something we already have.
So, to be continued at another day. But talking about power and one of the greatest brothers in this city, man. I've been knowing him ever since I was, I guess, before I even know who I was. Coach Melvin Howard, president and founder of Victory Youth Training Academy. He's always built. He's a man of character. Was one of the great night waters of all time. And, man, welcome to the Good Morning Show.
Thank you so much.
So we're really excited to speak to you this morning because a part of our conversation is really focused on, what are we doing to protect our young people? And you're offering us solutions. So talk to us a little bit more about Victory Youth Training Academy.
Yes, I listened to you earlier, and the solution is right there in front of our face, is Jesus Christ. Mm-hmm. He said, raise children up the way they should go. Mm-hmm. And the key word in that is the way. And the way is early intervention. Mm-hmm. And as I listened to you all earlier again, we need to bring our children to the understanding of love early. I work with 120 children 4 days a week. Mm-hmm. So I see their need. I see their struggle. And certainly we could identify the problems that they're going through now. But the key is, what are we doing? What are we doing to bring them to the understanding of the American dream? Hard work ethics. What are we doing to let them see good role models like, as you know, Oliver, Mr. Bill in our neighborhood, in the Lower Ninth Ward? He was my role model. He gained respect. I respected him. And that's what we want to do with our children as I walk into the first line schools. Coach Melvin, hey, Coach Melvin. And he'll run and hug your leg and things like that. Now, I'm a hard worker. You come in my after school program, bring it. Come to work. Let's go to work. Let's not walk along the wall and not participate. Let's work hard. And we tell parents the truth. Let me tell you what we got, man. We got parents that pick up children in the afternoon from school, in the after-school program at 5 o'clock. So every day we see your mother and father. And what we have done is talk to them about the positive things about their children. Not always beating them down. Mm-hmm. You know how that is. Mm-hmm. And that child will get in that automobile, and I walk to that car, Oliver, and I said, great day. Picked up some good ground balls at third, good swing, paid attention today, keep that going. The little kid is sitting in the back seat with a smile, like, mm-hmm. I see him the next day. Now, I done told him all during the workout, look, you got to come. You didn't pay attention. I just showed everyone how to set up at-home plate, how to turn on the ball, and you didn't see it because you was looking somewhere else. You daydreaming in the classroom. You can't do that. It's an educational institution. You got to pay attention. Two things, paying attention, following directions. We get those two things, and I tell them, two things you do in school, man. You pay attention, and you follow directions, and you're going to be smart. That's it. Don't catch yourself daydreaming, looking out the window. When the teacher's putting information on the board, you're going to miss that information, and you got one time at it. So my thing in being in the schools is that children got to step up too. Mm-hmm. We talk about the teachers, we talk about the parents, but man, you the one in that classroom, not your mother and father. The teacher, you know that old saying they used to tell us, I got mine, you got to get yours. Right. Hey, there's some truth to that. Mm-hmm. You got to get yours when you go in that educational institute. Shirt hanging down, shoes untied, no. That's not how you wear a baseball uniform.
Coach Melvin, let's talk about that. And you're using athletics. We have a lot of people, they mentoring, different methods, different programs. But athletics is a vehicle for you, for life skills and for discipline. Why did you, and you've specifically chosen baseball. Why?
Well, I tell you, Lower Ninth Ward, there was this gentleman, Willard Castle, and this was before integration. And so there was this playground, and then there was this lot. Well, we couldn't go on the playground. I'd stand by the fence and watch the Caucasian kids swim and swing, and all I could do was look in. But what Mr. Bill did, he took his lawnmower, went to the lot, Oliver, you were down there, and he cut a baseball diamond out for us.
Absolutely.
He went to Security Sporting Goods, bought 2 baseballs, and we ran ball. And when he came to watch us, it was like a major league scout watching. Everybody was right on their game out of what? Respect for him. Then I moved across the Industrial Canal to the Upper Ninth Ward in 69. There was this coach over there, Furman Sims. And what he had a tractor, this was in 69, that he cut his field with. And they had concession stands, and they had a lot of people coming to the game. I'm a young kid. I'm observing all this. And that's how Jesus Christ worked with you. You're predestined to do good things. So in seeing all that, I said, we could use this as a vehicle to help our children. And most of the best athletes, because when white left and the black moved into the Upper Ninth Ward, then the blacks took over that playground.
Mr. Eugene.
Mr. Eugene, yes. And so, but the problem I saw that I seek to attack was the best athletes didn't want to go to school. They're the ones they played all day. They didn't know to shut play down and go to work. So, let's start an after school program and baseball. Something athletic had to be there, and that was my background. Let's use baseball, the fundamentals of baseball. There's the fundamentals of learning. There's a fundamental way of paying attention. I put up 5 fingers. I put up a card right quick. Take it right down. Did you see that card? Oh, Coach, I didn't see it. Why? Because I wasn't paying attention. Well, let's get some practices on how you pay attention. The way to go. The way you raise children. You get them to respect what you're doing. Don't talk growing up talk in front of young children, that type of thing. Let's do some fundamental things to save our children, and we could have it. So we got this idea that we want to take in the Upper Ninth Ward and take it throughout the city. A building, a complex, a sporting complex in the inner city, where they learn the fundamentals of. We have a choir, we have a dance team. We have the fundamentals of baseball and the fundamentals of reading. So we give that to a child with I don't want to sing, Coach. Yeah, you sing. Oh, you can. I don't want to dance, Coach. You'll see the little 3rd grade boys who don't want to dance. Put Frankie Beverly on the phone. There was this, you do it. You never know what you could be. If you see it, you could be it.
So we're speaking right now of Coach Melvin Howard. He's the president and founder of Victory Youth Training Academy, and he's talking to us about building character and life skills through athletics. And something that you said a little bit earlier, I think it's really critical, that you were creating expectations, a sense of urgency, and really celebrating being smart, while also bringing those things out with athletics. Talk to us about how you started to develop kind of the connections between the principles of learning and the fundamental principles of baseball and athletics.
Very good question. It's right on the money kind of question. When the Cincinnati Reds in the early 70s decided that they wanted me to come to one of their training camps down in Florida, just happened to be 26 degrees down there. Very, very cold year. I learned how to play baseball, but when I got down there, then I really saw what the major leagues, what that level of athletics is. So, fundamentals, fundamental way of picking up a ground ball, fundamental way of turning the double play, fundamental way of bunting. Everything was this is the way to do it. I didn't learn that at an early age. So now that connection, that fundamental connection, you take that in the classroom and you make sure that all the children are paying attention. You make sure that all the children know how to tie their shoes. Kindergarten students' shoes, one string on that side, one string on that side. What they used to do us, step on that string, and boom, you bit the dust. So that's what I stepped on the string, but the kid didn't move, don't move. But look, you see how that is?
Right.
And then the charter schools has adopted the word scholar. Mm-hmm. And so kid, what is a scholar? What is that? Tell me the definition. Well, I work with kindergarten through third graders. Well, they don't really know. Well, let me tell you what it is, because I didn't know either. I had to go to the dictionary and find out myself. It's a person that's eager to learn, always looking to learn. So you guys are called scholars, is what I'm telling my kindergarten through third graders. And you're not dressing like a scholar. You got your shirt hanging down, a T-shirt under it. Your shoes are not tied. Let's dress like a scholar. Let's look like a scholar. Let's sit up in our chairs. Let's tell children what they need to know to grow. We know, we successful people. We know what it took.
Coach, I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna go back to this isn't new for you. When you were a young man, you were mentoring. Y'all used to come get the kids in the neighborhood. Remember, y'all taught us how to play softball, how to make a softball, and you
remember that?
Second base was home plate.
Yeah.
Where did that drive come from in you, where you've been mentoring and you've been a disciple for helping develop young men specifically for years?
Well, it came from my role models. Mm-hmm. I mean, you know Mr. Bill.
Yes.
And pretty much, if you see it, you can be it. So right now we have 110 kids in the program, and they need to see me dressed accordingly. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, you go to baseball fields and, you know, you see some of the coaches, they just came from work. They may have their paint uniform on or their work uniform on. And I, as a kid, I see that. I don't relate that to baseball. Mm-mm. So in everything I do in front of the children is related to upward mobility. Mm-hmm. And that came from Mr. Bill. Mr. Bill drove bus for the old Negro League, and he was a longshoreman, right, as you well know. So. And
that Mr. Bill is Mr. Bill Castle.
Yeah, Willard Castle. Yeah, and so you see it. I saw it. I wanted more than what the Ninth Ward offered me back in the 60s. And so that's where we drive the children.
One more question before Chamel asks you a question. You have been extremely successful most of your life at transforming young men and young women. And not just using baseball, but I've seen you take the most aggressive, dysfunctional children and use athletics and life skills to change them. How frustrating is it to you knowing the funding challenges that you have when you see all of these other organizations that don't use Christian principles, they're not as successful as you, but they're very easily held up by the city, by government, by philanthropists at work, knowing that your system has worked for years?
Wow, you're below the belt.
Real talk for real times.
Real talk. I had a segment at school with the 07 and 8 graders, and that's what we called it. Real talk. And if you said anything that was not real talk, all the other kids would say, real talk. Mm. So you had to stop. You had to bring it to that premise. Oliver, I tell you, man, that's a tough one, because you're thankful for what you got. I got 4 dedicated funders, so I'm thankful for that. I'm working with the city of New Orleans, the North Sea, to put a athletic complex at the Odell Davis Playground in the Upper Ninth Ward near the Florida housing development. They're building that back up, as you know. It's beautiful. Probably going to have 200 or more young kids to come in there. We want to put a sporting complex on that facility. So when those kids come in there, they could come in there and be trained. Not taught, but trained.
Mm-hmm. That's the difference.
Yes, you know, you athlete, you know it's a difference. So to get that money is for that, and it's in the initial stages. Vic Richards, I know it, has agreed, go make the money. We won't have a problem with you doing that. But $150,000 compared to what we need now to continue our programming in our 2 first-line charter schools. Right now we have about $175,000 budget. Costs about $150,000. And again, we right at our initial stages. $150,000 to erect a prefab building where we could have our choir. We say choir, we do choir, man. It's why we do choir. There's a reason for everything. We do choir so kids can learn words. Mm-hmm. They could sing and work as a team. We sang the national anthem at the New Orleans Hornets when they were the Hornets. We sang the national anthem at their game years ago. So they learn words. We dance because there are some kids who don't play baseball. And most of our kids in the school setting, they're not athletically inclined. They won't go to a playground and go out for a team. You know, they'll get cut. Mm-hmm. But we offer them an avenue where the competition is not, you got to be competitive all the time. Run. We do track teams. We run. You know, we used to run up and down the streets. We run. We exercise. We learn to do things. So the competitive market for funding is not easy. It's a difficult thing, Oliver, and you can't get frustrated by it. But I think Jesus got his hands on this. I think that we look to like they did in the old days. Barnstorm, the city, we used to play that old league back in the day. We used to go to every Easter. We'd go to Hattiesburg, Mississippi, drive around, loudspeakers saying that these New Orleans guys is in town. You know, they call that barnstorm. Mm-hmm. We want to barnstorm New Orleans with righteousness with our kids. Let's do a complex in the Ninth Ward, one in the Seventh Ward, where kids after school don't have to run up and down the streets. They could come be trained. It would help with our criminal justice system. It would help with our educational system. Look, let's do phonics. Back to basics is what we call it. Read, sight words, put words in a sentence where you could understand what you're saying. Speak correctly. Let's do these type of things.
Training, Jamel.
Training. So we're speaking right now of Coach Melvin Howard. He's the president and founder of Victory Youth Training Academy. And he was talking to us a little bit more about the vision, about making sure to put an athletics complex in the Ninth Ward. And when you were telling that story, telling that vision, one of the things I thought about was the example that had been set before you, right? Mm-hmm. So when you talked about the lot, not being able to go into the playground, mm-hmm. and then the lot being cut so you all could play baseball. That's one example, right? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And then the trailer and the tractor and really plowing the field so you all could then play on a larger level. Mm-hmm. And it seems like right now you're now extending that vision, creating another space for young people to be able to be young people, be loved on, and learn. So if people want to support this vision, how can they get in contact with you? How can they donate? What do they need to do to also support you?
Well, thank you for that question. We have 4 board members. Getting board members on a small nonprofit is not the easiest thing to do in the world, as you know, Jamela. So what we want to do, what we decided to do is get a committee. See if we could form a committee of folk who see the vision, who understand that if we get children at an early age and train them, we could really make an impact on saving some of our young children. Some of our young children have destructive behaviors. I see that at a very young age. But that could be challenged and turned. So we want to get a building committee so that to erect this building that we're talking about. We want this to become a reality because it's good and it's fair and it's needed. So we get that committee and turn them loose, so to speak, where they could assist in raising funds for this complex, this sporting complex that will house athletics, town hall meetings. Now, I want to just say this quickly on another note. A parent must be involved in what we do. Mm-hmm. Funders pay for our program. Mm-hmm. The families don't pay for it. It's free, but it's not free of your time. Mandatory parent meetings. Come hear me. Come let me preach to you.
That's one of the beautiful things about your program for kids that goes to Victory Academy. The parents have to participate at some level. That phone number and website, one more time, where people can donate to this program. Let me say, I've been knowing this man my whole life. I go out and I support his program. There are very few programs that are as successful in this country than what Coach Melvin does with Victory Youth Training. Phone number, website?
Phone number is 504-452-2404. And the website is www.victories, that's plural, victoriesinservice.org.
I know we didn't have enough time for this segment. I'd like you to come back. You also have some solutions for African Americans in baseball here in America, how to solve that problem, because that used to be our sport. And I'd like you to come back and just take a look at sports in general these days, and especially baseball, and what we can do to fix baseball. The Jackie Robinson, Satchel Paige. You know, right now you look around, you may have a lot of Hispanics and Latins, but you have very few African Americans playing professional baseball right now. We'd love to have that discussion with you at some point.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We give your phone number one more time.
452-2404.
That's area code 504.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Jamel.
So we've just had a great conversation with Coach Melvin Howard. He runs Victory Youth Training Academy, and he's talked to us about building character and life skills through athletics. He shared his vision of really reclaiming spaces for our young people, loving on them, setting expectations, and a sense of urgency. As always, the conversation continues here on WBOK. Eileen Carter's show, The Good Life, is up next, and you've been listening to WBOK. Real talk for real times.